No matter if points are gained or points are lost, there will be much to discuss. For analysis regarding tonight's Winnipeg Jets game, here are Dave Manouk, Ezra Ginsburg, and your host, Drew Mandel. The Illegal Curve post-game show starts now.
Just once, can they play a normal game? Like a routine victory, or just something that's sort of status quo, that doesn't have to be edge of your seat, that doesn't have to result in, dramatic comebacks or, giving up leads. Just once, can it just be a normal hockey game? Good evening, Winnipeg. Good evening, Manitoba, for all those joining us live this evening on our YouTube channel and all of our social media platforms. We say good evening, universe, and welcome to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Nice to see everybody again with Dave Manouk, with Ezra Ginsburg. I'm your host, Drew Mandel, here to discuss a much-needed Winnipeg Jets victory, 5-4. Over the Florida Panthers, a game that the Jets led 4-2 to start the third period, and it takes until overtime to get the victory. But as we talked about on this morning's show, the Jets needed to find a way to get a win. There's a lot not to like about this. There's a lot not to bottle about this. There's a lot to say that this isn't sustainable going forward, namely giving up 48 shots against a team that played on the second half of a back-to-back, giving up a 2-goal lead, not once but twice. But the Winnipeg Jets nonetheless come away with a huge 5-4 victory to move 6 points clear of the Calgary Flames for the final playoff spot in the Western Conference. Gentlemen, good to see you both on this Saturday night. I hope you enjoyed that hockey game.
Are you not entertained, Drew?
Yes, very much so. Very gladiator-like. The coaches, again, won't be entertained. It's very similar to what we said last Saturday after the Jets and the Oilers. The coaches will get heartburn from that, but the fans certainly got their money's worth in a back-and-forth battle between the Jets and the Panthers, Ezzy.
Yeah, Rick Bowness just ate a bottle of Tums after the game. But yeah, no, look, it was chaotic at times, right? And, you don't like the fact that you gave up the 2-goal lead in the third period, right? But, we talked about it, like the Jets needed the power play to get going, and that's exactly what happened, right? Like we talked about it. The Panthers take a lot of penalties, and, that really set the tone for the rest of the game, but the Jets couldn't shut it down in the third period. Like we were sitting here watching the third period, and I was telling Dave, like, it was like the neutral zone was just, it was just a free space. Like anybody could carry the puck through the neutral zone into the offensive zone. Like it was incredible. So yeah, I mean, Matthew Tkachuk, he was, the Jets didn't have an answer for him tonight. And, it's huge considering that Josh Morrissey left the game. And that's something that we're obviously, going to be following. Like we'll have all the updates on illegalcurve.com, but hopefully guys, like forget about tomorrow. Like, I just hope that Morrissey isn't out for any significant amount of time because, I mean, we're speculating at this point. Like, he could play tomorrow. I have no idea.
Right.
But, aside from Hellebuck, he's your MVP, right? So we don't like to see that. But considering, Dave, that Morrissey was out of the lineup, that's a huge extra point. And, Neil Pionk had an amazing chance right before Scheifele scored the OT winner and missed the net. So, good for Scheifele, who avoided the 5-minute major when we'll get into it, but that should not have been anything. And so the refs, in that case, the refs overturned it and it wasn't. So that was the right call. But considering that Morrissey was out and they squandered the lead, I mean, that is just a massive point to pick up. And hopefully, they can continue this, Dave, and pick up some more points in Tampa tomorrow.
Yeah, it was critically important for Winnipeg we said, I mean, you squandered a 3-1 lead and a 4-2 lead. So you actually had to leave Florida with 2. You needed 2 points tonight. It was, the Edmonton Oilers lost in Toronto. I mean, I know we're scoreboard watching, but the fact is that you've now given yourself a little bit of breathing room with the Flames losing last night in Anaheim, and you've now played the same amount of games as Calgary. So for me, that the Jets game was not a sustainable game. It relied on Connor Hellebuck. Oh, where have we heard this before? Relied too much on Connor Hellebuck. Questionable defensive plays throughout the course of the game. You're up 3-1 and you're pinching shorthanded. Like it just doesn't make, or you're pressing, I should say, shorthanded. I don't like that decision by, we'll discuss that later in the show. So the Jets weren't great. I mean, Florida played last night, right? And I know Florida played Chicago last night, but Florida still played last night. And you've got to take advantage. And look, the shots were 2-1 in favor throughout the course of this game. I don't know how they finished up, Drew, but for a long time, Florida was heavily outshooting the Jets.
48-27 is how it finished up.
Okay.
So I mean,
not quite, but
2-1, but close enough that it's significantly one side.
Well, and I tweeted from the IC account that we had jokingly said that, hey, you know, I think Ez might have said it, if Connor Hellebuck doesn't face a lot of shots today in Florida, perhaps when they travel up to Tampa, there's a chance that he plays tomorrow night. Well, I think
he's not playing tomorrow.
No. There was like 8 minutes to go in the second period, and they'd already given up 30-something shots. So you're like, well, that's done. But the fact of the matter is that the Jets came away with 2 points. It wasn't pretty, but they needed it. It was a critical win. And again, it's one of those things, like 1 point would have been fine, but it just wouldn't have been good enough.
Well, 1 point would have felt hollow. Anytime that you only get 1 point when you have a 2-0 lead and you have a 3-1 lead and you have a 4-2 lead is going to feel hollow. That would that would not have made this team feel good about themselves. I don't know that they necessarily feel great about themselves after the win. I mean, I think for this team to really start to feel a good vibe, you need a complete effort. You
also need consecutive wins, right?
Of course, consecutive wins.
We've talked about it. Yeah. I agree with Illegal Curb's official architect, Brent Bellamy. Obviously, he's not our official architect, but good friend of the show, and he's an architect. I think at this point, even though they played terribly at points, you take the win. And yeah, you squandered the lead, and you were hanging on there, boys, late in the third period.
Look, Sam Reinhart should have won.
You just take the 2 points and you go to Tampa now.
I don't know how how Sam Reinhart missed an overtime. I mean, that was okay. Game's over. I mean, and then somehow the puck, like magically, there was a force field in front of the net that steered the puck magically right wide, because that was a pretty wide open net, and somehow he missed it. And the Jets are fortunate that he missed it, because obviously, had he scored, they wouldn't have had the opportunity to end up getting the game-winning goal. But there's so much about this that just isn't sustainable. I thought that they were going to come out and play in a different manner, in a more complete manner, particularly after they had played on, how they had played more complete games on Monday and Wednesday. Right. Now, I know that they didn't get the results they wanted on Monday and Wednesday, and they got the result they wanted tonight, and you don't care that it's a 3-point game because you're not battling Florida for a playoff spot or anything like that. So in that sense, it's not a big deal. But again, they're so Jekyll and Hyde. And they certainly have been far more Jekyll lately than they are, I guess. Or hang on, which one's the bad guy? Dr. Jekyll, is he the bad guy and Mr. Hyde's the good guy? I think that's.
It really depends. I mean, one's a little more hideous than the other.
Well, okay, fair enough. But which one's the more hideous one then? How about that? It's Dr. Jekyll, right?
Well, technically, I would think it would be Mr. Hyde.
I'm not
Unless
sure.
Dr. Jekyll. No, but yeah, because Dr. Jekyll becomes Mr. Hyde.
Well, somebody smarter than us can tell us in the chat. How about that?
I've never seen Jekyll and Hyde.
Someone a little more into literature.
Yeah, somebody smarter. Hyde was the bad guy. Thank you, Spency. I knew Spency would be able to help.
You were asking whether he was bad or good.
Happy belated birthday to Spency, by the way.
You were talking about whether he was ugly.
Well, I meant bad in the sense of which one do you want to be? Do you want to be Dr. Jekyll or do you want to be Mr. Hyde in your performance?
Do you want to be a doctor, Drew?
I'm not a doctor. I'll take a look, as we all know. There you go.
We've got some real scholars on the show. Wow.
The chat is much smarter than the three of us. Apparently, we all failed, high school at some point in time or another, which is hard to believe.
On tomorrow night's post-game show, we're going to talk about crime and punishment.
My point is that there's just, again, it's not like this team is much further ahead. They're further ahead of the Calgary Flames than they were when the game started, but they certainly don't look like they're back to being a better team than they were in the earlier part of the year.
Yeah, well, last game, the process was good, right? The shots, everything like that, like they deserved to win. Right. I think the expected goals were 4 for the Jets, if I'm not mistaken, or just under, right? So, I mean, you liked how you played, right? And I think that's what you're talking about here. You got the 2 points, but it's how you got the 2 points was not beautiful. It was not pretty, but really, does that matter at this point when you're scratching and clawing for everything that you can get? Yeah, it does matter because you still have 16 games left. And, we talked about this on this Saturday show. We've been talking about this for the last couple of weeks. Right now, the Jets look like a team who is just happy to just get into the playoffs, right? Like they don't look like a team that I think you're afraid to face in the first round. Now, can that change? Yeah, there's a month left in the season here, but like it goes back to what I said before.
Hang on.
Go ahead, Drew.
Update from Rick Bonus. Josh Morrissey and Adam Lowry are, quote, very doubtful for Sunday's game versus the Tampa Bay Lightning. So if the Jets performed well when they faced adversity earlier in the year with a shorthanded lineup, they're certainly going to be put to the test tomorrow night in Tampa Bay, minus Pierre-Luc Dubois, minus Josh Morrissey, minus Adam Lowry, and you would presume with David Riddick in goal, but obviously we'll see more about that. That's not yet confirmed. So this Winnipeg Jets team is banged up entering their back-to-back tomorrow night against the Tampa Bay Lightning.
So, I mean, Dylan Sandberg goes in. I think that's an obvious one.
Yes.
Over Kyle Capobianco. And then I guess Axel Janssen-Fjallby goes in. Is he up with the Jets? I forget if he's up with the Jets.
Sam Gagner, also an option. I mean, I don't know. There's no great options there for, in terms of playing that role.
And Drew, worth noting, as Phyllis just pointing out, that Steven Stamkos left the game in Tampa against the Blackhawks. So he left also. I don't know his status for tomorrow.
I think I saw John Cooper say that he thinks that Stamkos will be okay. Which tells me that I don't know that he's necessarily going to be okay for tomorrow. He's okay on a long-term basis, but Steven Stamkos' status, is also questionable for tomorrow's game.
Well, then you're almost getting into like emergency recall at this point, right? Like,
well, the Jets probably. I mean, well, just think about their roster. So they're going to have to replace at least. Never mind anybody else that might be banged up. That we don't know about. That wasn't as obvious as Morrissey and Lowry or anything else like that. But you know that they're going to be without Lowry. So you're really down. I mean, you're down 2 of your 4 centers. Nemesnikov obviously had a tremendous game today, but he's not traditionally a center. He can play it, but he hasn't been playing center.
He was drafted as a center, though. I think that's been.
But he wasn't playing center.
No. But he has.
No, but Bonus did say he's capable of playing all 3.
Yes, I know. But I mean, that isn't where he's been deployed.
No. And that's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying that it's not like he has never played center before.
But do the Jets have another? I mean, I guess you could move Gustafsson back up the middle.
The Jets play best when they're injured, so this is probably a good thing for Winnipeg.
Well, I mean, they certainly are injured, so there's no question about that. They've got the injury bug; it's biting them again right now. We'll see tomorrow how the impact of that biting on the game against the Tampa Bay Lightning. But again, my point about all this and this preamble before we get into the goal by goal is that
long preamble.
I know, but that's what we do here. We ramble and then preamble. Nothing about this way of playing is sustainable. You can't play like this against good opponents by and large. As someone
tweeted at me, a little while ago when I was looking at, I made a comment about how the Panthers played last night and the Jets were being outshot heavily. They said Carolina might end up with 70 shots on net.
Well, yeah. I mean, you're not far off the way the Hurricanes are a puck possession dynamo. And we know the Panthers are a great offensive team. And the point of they look, I mean, Paul Maurice, this looks like a Paul Maurice hockey team. Offensive, run and gun, chaos, no defense. Everything about it just reeks, of a Paul Maurice team. But if the Jets try and do this against the Tampa Bay Lightning, or they try and do this against the Carolina Hurricanes, to your point, they try and do this against the Boston Bruins next week, next Thursday. It's just not. It's not going to be a recipe for success.
You're 100% right, Drew. It's not sustainable. It's fun to watch. Don't get me wrong. Like, we all Jets fans love. I mean, there was a comment we had up earlier, like, about anxiety. Like, it's true, right? Like, you thought after the second period, okay, the Jets are going to shut this down, but really the Jets don't have that ability. Like, they are not a team that has the ability. And you would say, like, one period, you can't shut one period down, but yeah, this back and forth, like, transition hockey is fun, and seeing 2-on-1s and breakaways, like, it's fun. Mm-hmm. Seeing a lot of power play goals is fun, but again, you're trying to lock down a playoff spot here, or maybe get into the second or third in the Central conversation. I mean, the Jets are not far back at all. First is out of reach, but the point is that this might work for a game or two, but like you said, especially when you're playing Carolina, one of the best teams in the East, or you're playing Boston, we'll see. But, as far as this game goes, I agree 100% with Brent Bellamy. Like, you have to just take these 2 points, and it wasn't pretty, but considering that you lost 9 of your previous 11 games, we'll talk about the sustainability tomorrow night, Drew, after the Jets play the Lightning, and we'll see if they're able to play a little bit more of a smarter defensive game. But boy, is that going to be tough with two of your best defensive players in Morrissey and Lowry.
Yeah, no question about it. Let's get into it. The Betway game recap is brought to you by Betway, one of the most trusted voices in sports betting, both in Canada and all around the world. Betway is the sports betting app that puts you, the customer, at the forefront. With a large selection of betting options in sports, as well as strong promotions and fair odds, what are you waiting for? Head on over to Betway and bet your way. Must be 19 years or older to play. Please play responsibly. Jets are getting badly outshot to start the game, but no, we talked about the importance of the power play on this morning's Illegal Curve Hockey Show. It strikes quickly for the Jets. 6:43 into the game with Brandon Montour in the box for cross-checking a little more than a minute into the power play. It's a beautiful power play goal. Great passing, great puck movement, great zone entry. It ends up with Mark Scheifele getting his 37th of the season, assist to Blake Wheeler and Kyle Connor. This is what you want to see from the Winnipeg Jets perspective, especially against a weak power play like that, weak penalty kill like that of the Florida Panthers.
Absolutely. And, Wheeler's been criticized quite a bit this year by me, by a lot of people. This is just a beautiful play. Like, this is, to me, is vintage Wheeler, right? Like, he could have easily shot the puck, and, everybody's kind of thinking that, and the Panthers are in okay position, and Scheifele's coming right through the slot, creeping, and we know that Scheifele and Wheeler, it's like they have the sixth sense. Mm-hmm. Just a beautiful pass by Wheeler and a great shot by Scheifele, right? And it's like you said, Drew, this was exactly how we wrote it up, in that the Jets needed to have success on the power play in order to have a chance to win tonight. And so they get the early power play goal, and just a beautiful, beautiful pass by Wheeler, because I think, he, like I said, he had an opportunity to shoot this puck, and he just puts it exactly where it needs to go, right on Scheifele's stick, and he makes no mistake about it.
Yeah, gives the Jets the early 1-0 lead. The Jets make it 2-0, Dave, about 9 minutes later. A little less than that, Nikolai Ehlers gets his sixth. I mean, what we talked about this morning, the Jets' best players needed to step up. They needed to drive the offense in tonight's game. Ehlers getting his sixth of the season, assist to Niederreiter and the Mesnikov at the 15:03 mark. And again, a good net drive, a good zone entry. Probably not a great goal. This isn't the highlight reel one. It's a nice play, but probably Bobrovsky wants this one back in my estimation. But nonetheless, it's 2-0 for the Jets at this point in time.
Well, and the Jets have 2 goals on like 6 shots or 8 shots or something like that at this point. So, I mean, it's you want to talk about recipe for success. You need to get more shots. You need to get more shots on Bobrovsky. He played last night. As he pointed out today, he's played since January with Spencer Knight in the program right now for the NHL. Yeah. So Alex Lyon is his back, and so Alex Lyon's his backup, who hasn't played a game since January. So it's been all Bobrovsky. And so, Bobrovsky isn't exactly a young guy. Here's an opportunity to take advantage of him. And so, again, the Jets, it was incumbent on the Winnipeg Jets to fire pucks on net, be in front of the net, a lot of things we talked about. And so, yeah, it was a nice shot by Nikolai Ehlers, and you could see that, it gave him a lot of energy, got him a lot of excitement. Yeah, I would suspect that Bobrovsky wants that one back because he saw it. It wasn't tipped by anything. So beautiful. It was funny because you see the play happening and you're thinking to yourself, there's a little daylight there for Ehlers to shoot at, but there's not much. Sure enough, he can find it. But if you're Bobrovsky, you want that back because, he's beat fairly clean by Nikolai Ehlers.
Yeah, he has. And the Jets have a 2-0 lead at this point, about 3/4 of the way through the first period. What you know about Florida, of course, is they give up a lot, but they can also score a lot. And the power play has got a lot of talented players on it. Matthew Tkachuk, always a handful, was a handful in Calgary, as we all remember, a handful in Florida as well. He gets his 29th of the season on the power play. This is with Kyle Connor in the box for slashing. It's Tkachuk.
You didn't say it right, Drew. Kyle the Goon Connor.
The Goon Connor, pardon me. We'll have to edit that afterwards to make sure that my mistake.
Before we get into the goal here, so Connor was originally called on a major there. Like I was with my kids and I had the sound down, so I wasn't sure what was going on there.
He slashed the back of He was pissed Ekblad had hit him, so he gave Ekblad a pretty good slash at the back of the leg.
And they called it a major?
Well, because everything is a major, Ezzy. Everything is a major, and then they're going to be like, you know what? We'll call it a major, then we'll review it, and then we'll
I didn't understand what was going on, because first off, how often do you see slashing majors? Like, you do not see slashing majors in hockey a lot. And
no, unless the guy's like skating after him, like
yeah. But it was just like, okay, so that someone clarified that on Twitter. But yeah, I was confused there. But look I mean, you mentioned, if we're just going to get into the goal here, Drew, like you mentioned, Matthew Tkachuk, like this is exactly what you want any Jet to be doing, right? Like the Jet, nobody has, like, not many players can do what Matthew Tkachuk can do, but he's just parked right in front of the net, right? And then Lowry comes in late, he whacks at it and just, gets his own rebound. Yeah. Like, that's what both goals were just a function of him having great body positioning and just being exactly where, like, coaches, we've been saying this forever, like, go park yourself in front of the net. And he has great hands. Like, Tkachuk isn't just a one-dimensional player, right? But yeah, in this particular case, I mean, that's kind of power play 101, right? Like, get a shot in, get a shot through, get a rebound. That's what Tkachuk did on that goal.
And the perils of what happens when defensemen, like they all do nowadays, that when the defensemen front guys on the power play as opposed to play behind them. When the puck gets through there, the only, if it gets through past the defenseman, the defenseman's not able to block it, and there's a rebound. Well, there's nobody there between the opposing player and the goaltender.
Yeah, and I was telling Dave, like, we were talking about, like, who, like, Dylan, I think, is the best guy right now to cover Tkachuk. And that's what I don't like about Dylan. Like, Dylan Sandberg is an excellent penalty killer. We're not going to get into that because I think, it's a moot point because Sandberg is going to go in the lineup tomorrow night.
Right.
So I thought Dylan was playing, had a good game, but you're right, Drew. In that particular case, like, Dylan he's in front of him, and then the shot comes in, and he's kind of like, he just, it wasn't the best one-on-one, I guess, battle for Brendan Dillon there.
That's right.
But again, Matthew Tkachuk's one of the best in the league at that. So,
well, that's what he's exactly. That's where he makes his living. He makes his living getting under players' skin and then getting goals within the 6 inches of the goaltender's goal crease.
While chopping it, while murdering his mouth guard. I mean, Dr. Les Reichers might give him a call with the way
him and Scheifele should have a mouth guard chewing competition.
I hope, I hope those don't have any, what was in the water bottles that they changed all those years ago?
Lead?
BP. No, it was BP.
BMP. No,
it was like BP.
There was some sort of chemical in
the MSG.
Yeah, the MSG of water bottles, let's say. Yeah, there's I forget exactly what the acronym.
Yeah, it was BP. Like, I don't remember something. Someone in the chat will remember.
Jekyll and Hyde, Drew.
BPH, exactly. Maybe BPH.
BPH sounds right.
Yeah, I think it's BPH.
I don't know. Yeah, exactly.
Frosty Winnipeg, BPH.
BPH. There you go. Thank you, everybody.
No, actually, hold on. A lot of people say Frosty. Everybody else is saying BPA. So
Frosty, you're out. BPA is the winner.
Yeah. Okay. So much for my memory.
What does BPA mean?
It's a chemical.
It was some chemical.
Sort. It was in all the water bottles. It was in plastic containers and water bottles and things like that.
Remember when there was yoga mats and Subway sandwiches? That was fun.
I don't think I've eaten the Subway.
Bread. Wasn't there bread and yoga?
Yeah,
bread
it was the same. It was the same. It was the same byproduct.
Yeah, it wasn't actually considered food because it didn't have any like nutritional value.
There we go.
I think it was.
You should know. Joe from Winnipeg has it.
I had no idea that Joe was a chemist.
Bisphenol A.
Bisphenol. Look at this. Look at all the things you learn on this show.
Yeah,
Very little about hockey, but a lot about other things.
It's trinitro-toluene. Dynamite.
Jets make it 3-1. And I think everybody at home that was watching this is saying, give up the puck. Give up the puck. You're going to get a 5-on-3. What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's a fair point.
But
I think a lot of people were saying that.
They don't give up the puck. And it turns out with a delayed penalty. So the Jets have the power play. And then they get a delayed penalty call. They don't give up the puck, and instead it's Nemesnikov, his 7th of the season, second point of the game, assist to Ehlers and Kyle Connor. Just a really nice pass by Nikolai Ehlers, and Nemesnikov is really parked right in front of Sergei Bobrovsky.
Shocking concept.
Yeah, and just is able to immediately shoot it into the net after the great pass by Ehlers, and the Jets have a 3-1 lead. 2 of the Jets' 3 goals coming on the power play, 3-1 at the end of 20 minutes, Ezzy.
It's funny that you mentioned the, give them the puck back thing, because as I was watching that, I was thinking, like, especially considering it's at the end of the period, right? Like that, like you usually do want to do that whenever to get the 5-on-3, but especially at the end of the period. But that was textbook, like how to do it, because you still get the 2-minute power play after, right? So I just love what the work Kyle Connor was doing here, like just moving the puck, him and Nikolai Ehlers. Clearly the Panthers are, scrambling a little bit. But yeah, just love Connor's work here, and just gets the puck in front to Nemestikov, and what a night for him. Like, clearly his best night as a Jet, but he's been great. What is this, his fourth game, I forget. But not an easy task, right, to replace Pierre-Luc Dubois up the middle. Oh. And he responds with a 3-point game, or I forget if he had 4 points, 3 points at least.
Three.
So yeah, that was huge for the Jets because, as I said, they still got the 2-minute power play after that. So that was a killer for the Panthers, right? Like, the Panthers had a little bit of a well, no, but it was a bit of, that's funny. You're right. There's a big difference between going down into the first intermission down a goal and 2 goals, right?
Sure.
Especially on the second game of the back-to-back. So that was a big goal for the Jets at the time.
It certainly was a big goal for the Jets at the time. And the Jets, they play a solid 20 minutes of play. They get outshot badly 19-9, and they have to rely heavily on Connor Hellebuck, but that's their MO, and getting a 3-1 lead is a good feeling, a good way to be after 20 minutes of the road trip. Panthers make it 3-2 early in the second period. It's a power play goal. Special teams obviously played a key role in tonight's game. No surprise there. Jets are a little aggressive on the PK here. I'm being charitable when I say a little. Sam Reinhart gets his 23rd of the season, assist to Alex Barkov and Matthew Tkachuk. Tkachuk up to 57 assists on the season. Again, he's sort of quietly having a tremendous year. Right now, the Florida Panthers look like the big winner in the Tkachuk for Huberdeau and Uyghur trade.
I would agree with that.
Well, hold on. Remember, they were the President's Trophy winners last year.
True
now
enough.
they're not. Now they're out of the playoffs. So, in fact, both teams are out of the playoffs. So
that's a fair point, Dave.
But
we should pump the brakes on that.
Yeah, I still subscribe to the team that gets the best player wins the trade.
I would agree with Look, and Huberdeau's having an awful year, and Uyghur.
Well, hey, if the Jets could acquire Mackenzie Uyghur, there were rumors that he was available. I
would take
on the right side.
Second.
Yeah, every team would have. That would have made that's people didn't like the trade from Florida's perspective, and that they had to give up both Uyghur and Huberdeau because Uyghur is one of those.
It's almost
guys.
like Huberdeau benefited a lot from playing with Alex Barkov.
Imagine that. Maybe Barkov's got some talent or something like that.
Apparently, he's pretty good.
Yeah. In any event, the Panthers make it 3-2 at the 4:09 mark. Look, there's a time to be aggressive and there's a time not to be aggressive, Dave. This is not the time for the Jets to have been aggressive.
Well, specifically Neil Pionk. You've got Logan Stanley and Neil Pionk as the defensive pair there on killing the penalty. And there's an opportunity, and I understand that Neil Pionk recognized the opportunity. And look, I don't know. I'm watching Neil Pionk skating right now, and it just something seems amiss. Maybe I'm wrong, but his skating is
Dave,
very.
Look at the chat. Look at the chat. We cover every single Jets game.
No, I know
nobody's getting any pleasure in any of this. Like, I what did I say to you as we're watching this game? It's like I like Neil Pionk as a person, as his game, but like he's like a shadow of what he was a couple of years ago. Yeah, go ahead, Dave.
No, I agree. If you watch his skating, his skating was never fluid anyways, but it's just gotten choppy. It's short. His strides are short. He takes a long time to get back into position. And he's really doesn't really back. If you look, he usually a lot of times he's skating back. Like he's not skating. He's not back skating. He's skating forward and then kind of half turned. It's just, I don't know. Something is just up. And so he's aggressive there unnecessarily with a 3-1 lead. I just don't see the need to be aggressive. And I understand people say, if you see an opportunity, take it. But then the problem is they don't hit the net. It goes back the other way. And then Logan Stanley is a 3-on-1. I didn't like the way Logan Stanley played it. He was a little bit passive for my liking. I understand it's hard to play a 3-on-1, but he's kind of caught. And when you have that kind of reach, you got to really take the guy in front. I thought the other, I didn't like the way the Jets played it. I didn't like the way Pionk was that aggressive, given how things are, you need that win. You can't understand you can't go into a defensive shell and try and protect a 3-1 lead. I'm not advocating that. I'm not.
You're short-handed.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying it's one thing. Again, I would never advocate a position to be protecting a lead when you're only up 3-1 in the second period. But I wouldn't be advocating that a defenseman is pinching, even if the opportunity presents itself, to do that and run the risk. That's my maybe a bit more risk averse position, but I just didn't like it.
Yeah, and one thing I wanted to mention, like the pinch for sure is probably ill-advised. The thing though too is like Verhaeghe passes the puck to Barkov, and Like the puck is rolling and it gets over a stick and he's in a bad angle. So as you're watching that, you're thinking like, okay, they're not going to
butchered it. Yeah,
they butchered it and they still score, right? So that there was a lot of things going wrong on that particular play. But Florida's look. The Jets were desperate tonight. So were the Panthers, even though they played last night. I mean, they're chasing. Who are they chasing right now? The Penguins, I think, have the second wild card spot right now. The Islanders, right? The Senators are still in there, right? So yeah, that was a bit of an ugly one, but just thought I'd get that in there. It was it looked at the time that Barkov had overplayed the puck and it skipped over a stick and they weren't going to score and convert, but Hellebuck didn't really have much of a chance at that point.
Yeah. Jets battle back to make it 4-2. So they regain the 2-goal lead. This is at about 8 minutes and 50 seconds later. Nemesnikov again. It's his third point of the game. It's his second. Why are you giving me the finger there, Dave? I was confused.
I'm not. I'm agreeing with you. I'm just laughing. I'm saying you can only try and hold Vlad Nemesnikov back for so long before he breaks out and goes crazy and makes Kevin Cheveldayoff look like a genius.
I thought I did something wrong there for a second while you're going like this, but in any event, wagging the finger, notwithstanding the finger wag that Dave was giving me, Nemesnikov gets his third point of the game, his second goal of the game. Assist to Ehlers. What's that for Ehlers, if I'm not mistaken? Does that make Ehlers also gets a 3-point night tonight? And Blake Wheeler gets the second assist on this one, and the Jets regain the 2-goal lead. It's now
face-off specialist Blake Wheeler, right?
Yeah, as we all expected. Hey, maybe that'll be maybe Blake Wheeler will go up the middle again.
If you need a center, Blake Wheeler didn't do too bad when he played center last year.
That was he's played it over the last number of years, given all the injuries at various points in time. Wheeler at center is certainly probably something that's being discussed.
For sure.
Among the brain trust right now, given the Adam Lowry status as doubtful for tomorrow and Josh Morrissey's status as doubtful for tomorrow. But
why not keep Nemesnikov up the middle on the second line and then Wheeler's your third line center? Yeah. Like, I'm not joking.
Well, I mean,
if it's only for a game or two, like we're not talking about the next 16 games,
right?
But we know that Wheeler, was that last year or 2 years ago that Wheeler played center? I forget. Might have been last year.
No,
both years.
Both years.
He did it both. He did it. I'm pretty sure he did it both years. He did it more consistently.
Yeah.
Didn't he play it when Scheifele went down?
Mm-hmm.
How many years ago would that happen?
I guess a couple of years ago, but
he played it for a big chunk of time when they were without Scheifele and maybe when they were out without Little as well.
Yeah.
I think they were down. Right. I think they were down both of those centermen. So this would be going back 3-4 years ago now.
Yep.
Probably, and he played it for a good 20, 30
for a good games. Chunk. Yeah. No, it was, and he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad at center. Now the question is, would he have the wheels? No pun intended. To be able to play center. I don't know. That's a different question.
And on this goal, this is just like we were joking because Wheeler doesn't take faceoffs usually, but it's a set play, right? Like Ehlers, is on by the faceoff circle and puts the shot on net. Nemesnikov goes to the net, and then he outweights Bobrovsky. So just a perfect set play. Like you would love to see this more from the Jets, to be honest with you, but that was just all around there. Wheeler, Ehlers, Nemesnikov, everything about that goal. That's like the definition of all three players having chemistry there. So you like to see that. And again, at the time, it looked like that was probably going to be enough for the Jets, but as we know, the Panthers came back and tied it. But that was just icing on the cake for Nemesnikov, who just had a fantastic night.
Yeah, 4-2.
As he, you gotta disclaim it. Spoiler alert! If you're gonna let people know what happened in the third period, at least tell them spoiler alert. Come on.
I'm confident they know if they're watching us on the post game show. 4-2 for the Jets after 40 minutes. Before we get into the third period, we're going to say good evening to everyone that's new to joining us tonight. There is almost 400 of you joining us live. That's great to see. If you haven't already done so, smash the like button. If you haven't already done so, subscribe to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to the podcast. Rate us, review us, leave us some feedback. This is the Illegal Curve post game show. We do this after each and every Winnipeg Jets game. We're going to do it again tomorrow night.
Leslie's right. That was more than, sorry about Wheeler playing center. It seemed like it was 2 years ago, but no, more like 3 or 4.
That's what kids do. They just blur the time for you there, Mr. Ginsburg.
Yeah. Well, also a pandemic, Drew, doesn't hurt either.
That too. You're right. We'll do it another post-game show tomorrow, 8:45 or so after the Jets.
He ruined it for Rob.
Lightning. Well, there you go. There's Rob. As in, you have to do penance. You've disappointed Rob.
Nothing happens in the third. Jets win 4-2.
There you go. That's fine. Just never look up this game, and you'll be and you won't know the difference. Similar to, I believe it was the Kings game. I think the Jets had a 4-2 lead after 40 minutes against the Los Angeles Kings, or whatever the score exactly was, if I'm not mistaken. And the question was, would the Jets be able to shut it down? Would the Jets be able to prevent a high-scoring opposition? And the Panthers are more of a high-scoring opposition than the LA Kings, but would the Jets be able to prevent an opposition from getting back into the game? And the answer was no. And it was no pretty early in the third period. It only took all of 33 seconds for the Panthers to make it a 4-3 game. Mark Stahl, his third of the year, assist to Eric Stahl and Sam
and
Reinhart.
Jordan Stahl.
Yeah, exactly. Get a third and a fourth Stahl.
Actually, no, sorry,
Jared Stahl.
Jared Stahl. Yeah,
well.
there you go.
Yeah.
Mark and Eric and Reinhart team up for the goal, and it makes it 4-3 very early in the third period, which is obviously not what you want to see. And then on top of that, what you really don't want to see is you don't want to see Josh Morrissey play one shift in that third period. When he came out on the bench to start the period, people are like, okay, well, maybe he's okay after he left the second period with what looked like just a non-contact injury grabbing at the hip. He plays the one shift and then he's gone for the game and he's doubtful for tomorrow. So you know that Morrissey has got an ailment of unknown severity at this point in time.
And, I was going to say Sean Reynolds, our good friend, put it out there that it was the hip, and then I believe they showed it on Sportsnet. So it's not confirmed, but it looks like there's a good chance it's somewhere around that area. But like you said, Drew, I mean, he's not going to play tomorrow against the Lightning, and clearly they need him. Not only tomorrow, but against Carolina and Boston. So you just hope that it's not anything where he's going to miss a significant amount of time. But on this particular goal, if we're good to go into the goal.
Yeah, please.
Not singling Neil Pionk out here, but on this particular, I think it was Lowry, Dave, that shot the pass to Barron, but it wasn't the best pass. And I don't remember if Barron got any of it, but then it came around and it was a 3-on-2, I believe. I guess I could pull it up here, but I remember watching it and just Pionk, just the way he plays this, just doesn't look like a confident defenseman to me. And Mark Stahl is not exactly, Mark Stahl is a good defenseman. Exactly. But it's not like, Mark Stahl is a big body and he's coming through the middle, but it's not exactly like it's Ovechkin there. No. So just something that bothered me about the way Pionk played that. But yeah, obviously, not the way you wanted to start the third period.
With all the talk about Pionk, and look, I mean, it's hard to believe that he's not injured. It looks like he's injured. I think we would all say, given what we watched, that there's something that's not right with him. Somebody needs to step in, I would argue, at some point in time, and it's probably long overdue, and say, look, we appreciate what you're trying to do. We appreciate that you're trying to gut it out and you're trying to work through whatever it is, but this isn't beneficial to anybody. And
yeah, but you know what though, Drew, that's their own. That's on the coach then.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
that's
but
what I'm saying.
Well, but you don't think they're paying attention? Like, I don't know. Like it's kind of like last year where like the justification for his down year was that he was injured. I'm like, well, then why'd you play him?
Right.
Like, sorry, why do you play him?
Right.
Don't play. I mean, I know.
And we don't know the extent. That's the whole thing, right, Dave? Like, the issue is like, is it something that he's kind of off and on, or is this something that like he's literally playing through an injury for the last few months? But I would just argue that if he's not playing well, he should be sitting. And honestly, you could argue that like Kyle Capobianco would have more of an impact
just based on performance at this point in time. And I know what his salary is, but at a point in time, you have to take the salary out of the picture.
Exactly.
And Drew, it doesn't mean anything anyways anymore. I mean, obviously you still have to be cap compliant. I get that. But the reality is, I'm just saying that it doesn't
matter anymore.
It doesn't make a difference. So you can have as many guys as you want on the roster, as again, provided that you're still within the cap.
Yeah.
So
remember when Wade Redden was sent down to the Hartford Wolfpack, making whatever he was
6 million. But the point is that
that's when you have to go through recallable waivers.
The reality is Capobianco showed that he can play. I mean, I'm not saying the guy is going to be Bobby Orr, but I'm just saying that you could throw him in and maybe giving Pionk a night off here or there is going to look. All these guys are banged up. Everybody in the National Hockey League at this point of the year is banged up. Everybody's dealing with some sort of injury of some sort. None of these guys get through a season unscathed. So I'm not. It's not as if we're suggesting that, oh, everybody else is healthy and Neil Pionk's the only one who's not. But I mean, look, as he's not wrong, you look at that goal. Neil Pionk is caught literally in no man's land. He is in front of Connor Hellebuck. He's doing nobody any help because he doesn't prevent the puck. He doesn't prevent the man. He doesn't tie up the stick. He's literally in no man's land, and the puck gets by him past Connor Hellebuck. And now it's a 3-2 game, 3-2 game, or no, 4-3? 4-3, sorry. 4-3 at that point.
Yeah.
And it's just it's an early goal that really is deflating for a Jets team that has, as we've talked about it, as the chat's talked about, doesn't have a lot of confidence, because you know how desperate they are for a win, how desperate they are to kind of flip the talk, because everybody is aware, right? Everybody in this chat is aware of what the Jets record has been of late. So if the Jets could have had a clean win tonight, if the Jets could have gone into Florida and, you could say, oh, Florida played last night. Florida played the Hawks. It's like not even playing. But the fact is, Florida played last night. The Jets would have come out with a clean win. That changes the dialogue. That changes the tenor of the conversation. But the fact that you, quote, held on for a 4-2 or an overtime win, again, sorry, spoiler alert. The fact of the matter is that it loses the luster, right? It takes a little of the shine off of a win for a Jets team. And so, yeah, like I said, I don't like the way Pionk played this goal. And that's, at least a second instance of that I could say on this broadcast.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's a talking point, but it's a talking point because it continues to be a justifiable talking point. The Jets continue to trot out, a player who's not giving them good results, and are surprised when he seems to consistently not give them good results. 4-3 at this point in time, early in the third period. The Panthers complete the comeback at the 6:24 mark. Matthew Tkachuk, again, just an absolutely dominant effort for him. He also had a 3-point night. It's on the power play, assist to Barkov and Montour. Again, it's Matthew Tkachuk is a dangerous weapon in front of the net, and the Jets had no answers for him tonight. And as a result, he was able to tie up the game at fours, still early in the third period. Lots of time left in the third period for either team to score again, when it was obvious that goal scoring wasn't a problem tonight for either team.
Yeah, and we talked about how dangerous and how hard it is to cover Matthew Tkachuk, especially on a 4-on-3, right, guys? This is where Nemestikov was off for, I forget if it was hooking or interference or whatever it was, but he saved a goal there, right?
He saved at least 3 tonight, has he?
Yeah, and Anthony Duclair, I was telling Dave, Anthony Duclair, I realized has missed some games recently.
Missed most of the season.
Yeah, he's looked good. He looked good to me. I thought he was really noticeable out there, but yeah, just a veteran play by Nemestikov. You've got Duclair cutting across there. If he doesn't do that, I mean, Hellebuck's going, he wouldn't have made the save, right? So it was one of those situations where, he saved a goal, but then they scored right after. But so when it's a 4-on-3, just love Barkov puts the puck on the net, Hellebuck makes the save. Again, Tkachuk just buries the rebound. So real simple goal. And that's what I loved. The Panthers power play it was really simplistic tonight, and it worked. So unfortunate that was the tying goal, because Nemestikov saved the goal with hooking Duclair. But yeah, Tkachuk was on tonight, and like he is most nights.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, look, this Florida Panthers team, I mean, they have more, you talk about underachieving teams and everything else. There's no question that they would be one of the most disappointing teams this season in the NHL, with all their offensive firepower, with all the offensive talent they have. And, they still have some pretty good players on the back end as well. They still got some guy named Aaron Ekblad on their back end. He's a pretty good defenseman last time I checked. They shouldn't be missing the playoffs, or they shouldn't be battling tooth and nail for a playoff spot. It was a curious decision to hire Paul Maurice when they did it in the offseason, and then nothing about their season has become any less curious as a result.
Remember Andrew Brunette? Andrew Brunette, who's now with the Devils, right?
Yeah.
And we were talking about this in the summer when it was clear that Barry Trotz wasn't going to be the head coach of the Jets. We were saying, what about Andrew Brunette? I don't even know if he was available at that point. The Devils might have already snatched him up.
I think the Jets might have had a conversation with him.
Yeah, they might have. They might have.
You're always having conversations.
Yeah, Chevy loves conversations, but yeah, no.
The phone rings. You answer the phone. You have a conversation. Yes, yeah. You order. You
order some lunch.
You use the phone to order food. Yeah.
Yeah. Lots of conversations.
Yeah, phones are very useful tools.
the Jets get through unscathed through the
Now,
rest of the third period.
before you jump through the whole unscathed third period,
Yeah, I was going to get to it. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, well, no. I don't know if this is the same observation that you had, Drew, but I said to Ez while we're watching, I said, are you not watching two teams, at least one team that's desperate to get to overtime and not lose this in regulation? Because with about 8 minutes to go, it would seem clear like a team would press if they smelled a little blood and thought they could take advantage. But I thought there were two teams that were just like, listen, I just want to you need a point.
Happens.
We need a point. We're not taking a chance here.
Well, that's what happens. I mean, the three, neither of these teams mind that, unless you're going to tee it up for a team on a silver platter. They're content to get the make it a 3-point game because neither team is going to face each other. Neither team is going to impact each other's playoff positioning by having that third point and by not having a regulation time victory. And that's what happens in the NHL with the current point system. So that the bug is not what's the comment? The problem is not a bug; it's a feature, something like that, or something. I'm torturing it a little bit.
I have absolutely no idea what you're talking about right now.
I'm saying that
I think Drew's writing code right now.
I'm not writing code. There's a saying. It's a meme. I think something along the lines.
Drew,
of
you're
that.
too old to me.
Isn't it mem?
No, yeah, it's
mem.
Yeah, it's also GIF. I think it's GIF and mem, if I'm not mistaken.
Grandma Mema.
Peanut butter.
In any event.
Grandma Mema.
For all after. I'm going to look up the quote. When we go to break, I'm looking up the quote, so you guys will know what I'm talking about.
We have to talk about the OT goal, Drew.
I know I'm not getting there yet. I'm saying it's a feature, not a bug. There you go, Julian Love. It's not a bug, it's a feature. There you go, folks. That's what the chat is again filling me in and helping me out as well. Thank you.
Okay, let's go, Bill Gates. Let's get into this goal here.
Okay, so overtime, back and forth, and now it's a different overtime setup for the Jets because, of course, no Josh Morrissey, and Morrissey obviously got a ton of 3-on-3 time normally, but without him, the Jets had to deploy a different look and a different unit. And the fact that the Jets managed to pull this off, because there was some times there where it was getting real scrambly and there's a lot of space for those Panthers, and Connor Hellebuck had to make a number of really big saves, and Sam Reinhart had to make
hates the empty net. Sam Reinhart hates empty nets.
He had to miss a wide open net, and ultimately it allows Mark Scheifele to get the game-winning goal with 29 seconds to go. Assist to Connor, assist to Nate Schmidt. It's a real nice pass by Connor to hit a streaking Scheifele as he's cutting in front of Bobrovsky, and the initial save is made by Bobrovsky, but Scheifele gathers up the rebound and is nice and patient, and from a really difficult angle goes roofs it and gives the Jets a huge 5-4 victory. I thought I thought the celebration was almost a little bit muted, which I think is not a bad thing in this sense.
Well, he almost broke or did. Josh Morrissey almost had an injury when he jumped on him, so maybe he decided to.
No, the other way around. Scheifele jumped on Morrissey.
That's what I meant to say.
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah.
The other way around. But whatever there was, the Jets get the victory on this overtime winner after it looked like they had snatched a victory out of the jaws of defeat. They snatch it back out of the jaws of defeat in the other way around, and it's a 5-4 win for the Jets. And as we talked about, they move 6 points clear of the Calgary Flames, and Nashville's in action tonight. Right now, they're playing the Los Angeles Kings, and that, I believe, is still scoreless halfway through the first period. With a win, the Predators would move into a tie with the Flames, and of course, the Predators still have many games in hand on both the Jets and the Flames, Ezzy.
Have you looked at who's playing forward for the Nashville Predators right now? Like, you've got Luke Evangelista, I think, is on the second line. Like, I think he was
literally with the Admirals as he 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, but you're
against the Moose.
It's wow. And I mean, they traded so many players, so you got to fill it in, somehow. Philip Tomasino's up there with the Predators, right? Good prospect for them from the 2019 draft. But I just wanted to throw in one thing about that overtime goal. Beautiful, Scheifele buries it, right? But I don't think it can be lost that Nate Schmidt was out there, who was just a healthy scratch. I just wanted to get that in there because Pionk had a good chance, missed the net. 30 seconds or something before Scheifele scored the OT winner, but just good for Schmitty. I thought, one of the most popular guys in the dressing room, gets in there and gets an assist on the game-winning goal. So I just thought that was great for him personally. After
One
the healthy
one
scrap.
nothing LA. They just scored seconds ago, so 1-0 LA.
And, look, it's also a milestone for Mark Scheifele. I mean, he's got 38 goals, which matches his career high. He does it in, I think, about 17 fewer games than he did in, was it 18-19 when he had 38, I think. So, I mean, look, Mark Scheifele is still going to get 43 goals, probably around 43 goals, 45
I think 44,
goals maybe.
actually, Dave.
44. Okay, I was going to say 43 to 45. So as he goes in the middle, it says 44. We'll see if 55 can get 44. But the fact is, he's going to have an elite season when it comes to goal scoring, and it's his best season ever. And I mean, look, if he gets hot, maybe he scores 50. Who knows? But the fact is, this is exactly what the Jets needed. The Jets needed. We talked about it, and the Jets didn't need this effort. The Jets didn't need to give up as many shots as they did. They didn't need to allow Connor Hellebuck to be peppered the way he did. But I will say that what was the final number, Drew, when it comes to high danger chances for and against?
Hang on, I don't have my natural stat trick open up yet. Give me 1 second.
Ooh,
Here we go. High danger chances were 12-10 in the Jets' favor at 5-on-5.
So there you go. So I'm sure Rick Bowness is going to say that even though they gave up a lot of shots, that they were okay with the shots.
No, that was I was looking at different things. It was 10-8 high danger chances in the Panthers' favor. Sorry.
Okay, well that makes a little more sense, but the fact is that it's still fairly tight. So I would imagine Rick Bowness overall is going to be okay with it, but. I think what it comes down to is that this Jet team is going to have to tighten things up. And one of the comments that I saw in the chat, and I tend to agree, is that will this force the Jets to play, a little grittier and with some, if you're missing Adam Lowry, you're missing Josh Morrissey, they have to tighten things up and play. Look, they've played inspired hockey when they've had less guys right in the lineup. So maybe that will continue tomorrow in Tampa, which is another critical game. If the Jets can win, they put themselves that much closer to back into third spot in the Central and gives them some more breathing room on the teams that are chasing them.
Yeah, look, a win is what the Jets needed. A win is what the Jets got. Can they replicate it tomorrow night in Tampa Bay where they step up in weight class against the juggernaut Lightning? Obviously now the Jets injured riddled with injuries. No Dubois, no Morrissey. No Lowry tomorrow. We're not sure about Tampa Bay and their status with Steven Stamkos, but it'll be an interesting.
Well, they're not likely, Drew. They're not. No, it's not likely.
Highly doubtful. I mean,
well, it's just Drew.
Okay, fine. Yes, fine.
I don't want someone to say, "Hey, Drew on Illegal Curve said they're not playing," and then they play.
If anybody's watching this show and is taking my word at face value, that's on them. They should know better than that at this point in time.
If we don't have trust with the audience, we have nothing. I don't have to lecture.
Reputation is everything, Drew.
I know. You're right.
This is what I have to deal with, folks.
And I have the worst reputation of the three of us. So.
Well, I don't know about the worst, Ezzy. You bring your own sort of special attributes.
Je ne sais quoi.
Je ne sais quoi.
Like somebody, I don't know. Somebody tweeted at us earlier today, sending us a picture of an elephant showering with a hose by themselves and said that was you as a bachelor. So somebody remembered that.
True.
So I thought that was really.
I was an elephant.
Yeah. Who sent that?
See,
right?
Look at what Spency wants to do with you, Ezzy. He would do a trust fall with you.
Wow.
I would love.
Somehow they both end up injured, just terribly, terribly injured.
We could have done it at Festival, but I'm not sure where we would do the trust fall. I don't know if we would do it in Sage Creek by the hot tub. I'm just not sure, but I do think we should do a trust fall at some point.
Maybe we will do a get together and just do trust falls. We won't actually talk about hockey. We'll just do trust falls for a while. I can't see that being a bad idea or anything going wrong there whatsoever.
Just make sure our the IC insurance is up to date.
There you go. Fair enough. When we come back, Illegal Curve contests. The game recap already took 55 minutes. I guess we need to also pick a Seagram's shot of the game.
We can do it after the break. Drew, do it after the break.
We'll do it after the break.
I'll go get the fireball out of the cabinet.
There you go. Dave, as he's going to do some fireball shots. It's Spency's birthday, or maybe it's not. We're not even sure.
I think Spency was Friday, I think.
Oh, it was Friday? Okay.
Look what Dom's saying. Let's just throw it because that's what I just mentioned a few minutes ago. In terms of maybe Rick Bowness is okay for the podcast, folks. Florida leads the league in 40 or more shots in a game 26 times. They shoot from everywhere. Shots were misleading tonight. I think Dom Zappia just had the shot of the game, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Dom is saying Corsi Schmorsey.
Oh, Dom is
saying there. Dom is saying
he's making some good points.
Spencer's birthday was yesterday, Ezzy. So happy birthday, Spencer. Belated.
Yes, happy belated birthday. Everybody stay with us. Much more to come, including our usual share of shenanigans. That was the Betway game recap brought to you by our friends at Betway. Jay Berkowitz was at the game tonight. I thought I saw you cheering there, Jay, so good job on you.
Jay.
Cheering for the Jets there in South Florida. Much more to come.
Jay's doing better than we are, obviously, because we're in Winnipeg, so.
And
Jay lives in Florida, has he?
I'm pretty sure it's just
that's what I'm saying.
It's the same weather in South Florida as it is outside right now, right? Isn't that things are good? Things are going fine.
Pretty sure that's why Eric Dubois was happy to be still up with the Jets instead of with the Moose.
Winnipeg's never-ending winter.
2 years in a row, the Jets have fled Winnipeg right ahead of a snowstorm. Right? Wasn't it last year? They also fled right before that snowstorm, and when they canceled the Kraken game that got rescheduled to the end of the year.
Yeah, point about. Yeah,
there you go.
All right, break time.
Break time. See you soon. It's the Illegal Curve post game show.
Jerry Seinfeld, Chris Rock, Jon Stewart, Dennis Miller, Brad Garrett, the biggest acts and all the up-and-comers. They've all made their mark at Rumors Comedy Club, North America's longest-running independent comedy club. Rumors has kept Winnipeg laughing for over 25 years. When was the last time you laughed out loud? Make it a great night out with friends or book your office or birthday party, even a fundraising event at Rumors. Get all the details and dates on upcoming shows at rumorscomedyclub.com.
He winds up. Oh, looks like Ezzy took that one right in the choppers.
A blistering fast puck hurts like HE double hockey sticks. That's why I let the pros at Linden Market Dental Center turn my yow into
wow.
Get your brilliant smile back with state-of-the-art restorative and cosmetic dentistry from real pros.
And remember, always wear a mouth guard.
Now that's solid on ice advice. Learn more at lindenmarketdentalcenter.com. Creating smiles for life.
Whoa, Ezzy, everything okay? You look stressed.
Of course I'm stressed. We're moving, the house is upside down, the kids failed miserably at packing the fine china, and my life is in chaos. Chaos!
Yes, that does sound like a problem.
What am I going to do?
Ezzy, relax. Rolly's Transfer Moving and Storage is the answer. With 60 years of experience in moving Manitobans and a track record of exemplary customer service, one call to Rolly's and your stress is gone. No job is too big or too small. Just visit Rollies.com and they will take it from there.
Thanks, Dave, and thank you, Rollies Transfer Moving and Storage, online at Rollies.com.
Dave, my man, why are you in the car already? It's hours until game time.
Drew, it's because I'm stressed out right now, driving around downtown Winnipeg, looking for a parking spot, and I'm not finding one. I've lost Ginsburg. I don't even know where that guy is right now.
Dave, haven't I taught you anything? Do what I do. Pre-book your entire month's worth of game day parking with the Grid Park app. It's super easy to use and saves me both time and stress.
Well, Drew, I'm not independently wealthy like you are. So I'm sorry that I don't have millions of dollars to pre-book my parking month in advance. What's that going to cost you? $25?
How about $5?
Come on, $5? No way.
$5. I'm not telling you a lie. And our listeners can get a free park with the new special promo code Illegal Curve. Guess what? There's more.
Come on, there's more, Drew. You're lying to me. What more could there be?
Grid Park now has underground parking, so my car can stay warm during the game.
So wait a second. All the driving around I do, looking for parking, minus 40. You're telling me I could be toasty warm in a car after the hockey game?
That's exactly what I'm telling you. Underground parking. Just download the Grid Park app. That's GRYD Park and use the code Illegal Curve. All one word. You'll park for free your first time.
Hi, it's Drew from Illegal Curve here. Selling your home can be stressful, but it wasn't for me. Thanks to my friends at Zappia Group Realty, they made the process so easy. My home sold within 48 hours and with multiple offers. Zappia Group Realty took care of everything with their exquisite customer service and attention to detail. If you want to sell your home for more in less time, get started by talking to Frank and Mauro Zappia of Zappia Group Realty. Online at zappiagroup.com.
For 3 generations and over 80 years, Tough Duck has been making apparel that works and plays as hard as the people who wear it. From jackets to work boots and everything in between, Tough Duck's clothing can handle the harshest environments, even the Illegal Curve hockey show. Work to live, live to play. Visit toughduck.com. A little bit after 10 o'clock. Welcome back to the Illegal Curve post-game show. Drew Mandel, Dave Minuk, Ezra Ginsburg with you. It's been a doubleheader of IC action today. In case you missed the Illegal Curve hockey show this morning, you can check out the instant replay of that or the podcast of that. And of course, this podcast and this Illegal Curve post-game show is continuing on. And then, of course, tomorrow we'll do it all again with the Illegal Curve post-game show.
More anything? More everything.
Especially if that everything is
Best line
IC
ever
related. 8:45 p.m. give or take tomorrow. Seagram's shot of the game. Which goal do you think you want to give the Seagram shot of the game to? As he's got this fireball.
Well, you got to give it to Mark Scheifele in the overtime, I think.
Absolutely.
I think that's fair and reasonable. As he's
Ehlers was a close second, though. That was even though I think you could say that Bobrovsky, the angle and everything like that. Yeah. I thought it was a really smart. We didn't get too much into it, but just the way it came off of his stick and it was blocker side, right?
Yeah.
So I think we could have easily given it to Ehlers, but considering it was the OT winner, we got to give it to Scheif.
Okay. L'chaim, Ezzy, I'll drink. I have some wine, so I'll drink to that. So good job.
It's the Seagram's shot of the game, Drew. It's not the Seagram's sip of the game.
Fair enough. I'll do a shot after. How about that?
Seagram's doesn't make wine either, so I don't know what kind of trafe you're drinking there.
Well, whatever. It's all I had handy, so I grabbed whatever I had handy. I'll need to get some more of our. I drank all the Fireball, so I need to get a little bit more Fireball. And then,
I'll talk to our rep. We'll get some more.
Thank you. In any event, big thanks to our friends at Seagram's for their sponsorship of the shot of the game. Not a lot of post-game comments coming from the Winnipeg Jets dressing room as far as I've seen so far. Very rude of Mike and Ken to focus on writing their stories rather than just giving us tweets that we can use to fill our time. But I guess I can accept it tonight and tonight only. Nonetheless, let's do some contest, the Illegal Curve merchandise contest. The unique code word for the Illegal Curve merchandise contest, what you do is you go to the contest page. You can find the link to that in the drop-down arrow on YouTube or on our website, illegalcurve.com. You enter in the unique code. The more unique codes that you enter, the more tasks you complete, the more entries you're going to get, and the greater your chances are of winning Winnipeg Jets merchandise, courtesy of us here at Illegal Curve. Tonight's unique code, I don't think it needs any further explanation given his performance tonight. The unique code is Nemesnikov. There you go. You get a 3-point night. You're going to get the unique code word named after him. It's probably a great honor for him. I assume.
It sounds like Dave just picked that unique code word about 20 minutes ago. That's what it looks like.
I picked that unique code word because I needed to practice how to spell Nemesnikov if he's going to keep scoring that many goals. So I was like, okay, you know what? Everyone can learn how to spell. It's not a bad thing. So
I sent you guys the screenshot. Mikey McIntyre, who's in Florida covering the trip, he wrote when he was tweeting out the lines yesterday, he wrote Nemestinkov, and I sent him a text because I just thought that was the right thing to do from one, I guess, quasi-journalist to another.
Hey,
you have a journalism degree.
You have a journalism degree.
I have a degree, but I'm not a journalist per se like Mike is. I mean, Mike's a pro.
Didn't you finish third in like the Canadian Journalism Awards or some nonsense like that?
It was. I worked at the Portage Daily Graphic, so I finished. I got third place for like the health story of the year amongst community newspapers. But the best part of it was that Dave's uncle, Dr. Yossel Manuk, was who I quoted in the story because it was about a woman who needed a liver transplant. So I mean, it was all the credit goes to Dr. Yossel Manuk.
Hey, you wrote the story. You finished in third place.
Yeah, I put some words in succession together.
There you go. Congratulations to you. Don't
Thank
sell
you.
yourself.
That was back in 2010 or something.
Yeah, it's all been downhill. Ago. It's all been downhill since then. But that was a good peak.
The marriage and the kids. That got me back in the game.
Yeah, that's true. We give the credit to the kids and to Naomi for that, though. You're sort of hanging on for dear life more than anything on that front. But in any event, congratulations on your third place award, and
thank you.
Congratulations to anybody.
Years ago.
Yeah, exactly. And it's been a while. I've meant to congratulate you. I've just been a little slacking on it. And congratulations to anyone who enters the unique code Nemesnikov into the contest page. You're going to be entered for a chance to win some great Illegal Curve merchandise. Yes, Rob Will Smith did slap as he when he accepted.
By the way, anybody watched Chris Rock's special yet?
I gotta watch that. I might watch it tonight. Actually,
I've seen it. I've seen bits and pieces. It's pretty good.
There you go.
Funny.
So the question is, who's going to slap Jimmy Kimmel tomorrow?
He unloads.
Are the Oscars tomorrow?
Yeah, Jimmy Kimmel.
Good. I don't have to watch them. We can do the post game show instead.
Oh, well, who would watch that crap?
I wouldn't. I haven't seen him. I mean, I assume Cocaine Bear is just going to win all the awards.
I thought it was
Well, that's the
Cocaine
thing,
Cat.
Drew,
No,
like
Alan Lasco sent us. It's Cocaine Cat now.
Yeah, I am aware what it's become, but my Cocaine Bear T-shirt is still on order. So as soon I'm going to be I'm modeling a Cocaine Bear T-shirt on these post game shows, and I'm excited. Yeah,
fancy.
Look
You're
at me,
a fancy guy.
Someone's doing well. I can park
Very
my car
topical,
wherever.
Drew. Very topical.
Thank you. I can park my
If the
car
topic
wherever
was
I want.
if the topic was 3 months ago.
Well, hey, you guys thought it wasn't
I didn't even know what it was a thing, to be honest with you.
Yeah, that's what I'm telling you. It's a documentary as far as I'm concerned. And of course, the winner of the Illegal Curve merchandise contest for tonight's game,
win.
Dave M. I'm going to put the name on the screen. Why don't you do the honors?
Sure. Can't remember. Ron Kohler.
There you go. I wonder if he's got bathroom fixture money. Nothing. Nothing.
Why is there a company called Kohler?
Kohler, yeah, of course.
Yeah,
So
Kohler.
Yeah.
It's a huge.
Is it big? Is it a Manitoba company?
No.
Oh.
But it's worldwide known bathroom sinks
never heard
and
of it.
other things. What are
Drew,
you saying?
I don't have money for bathroom fixtures. I just
As he just goes in the
all my
outhouse
money.
outside. Come
Yeah,
on, Drew.
exactly. I pee outside like a normal person.
There you go. Exactly. With your hose. There you go. Frosty Winnipeg. Kohler is massively big company. And Spency's saying, look, Drew, I'm trying so hard. You guys got to give me something to work with. Come on, people. That was a good one. That wasn't bad. You gotta have low expectations for me. That's about all I can fulfill is low expectations. In any event, congratulations to Ron Kohler, the winner of the Illegal Curve merchandise contest for tonight's game. Dave M will be in touch to get Ron his merchandise, and we'll do it all again tomorrow.
And just a quick.
Yes.
Sorry, go ahead, Drew. Finish.
I was going to say we'll do it all again tomorrow on the Illegal Curve post game show after the Jets and the Lightning.
And Stacy, who is from Pennsylvania, mentioned that Kohler beer is from Erie, Pennsylvania, home of. Not Stacy. I don't think she's from Erie, but she's from somewhere in Pennsylvania, I believe. But no, I was just going to say
Stacy is from Pennsylvania.
Yeah, no, she lives in Erie.
Yeah.
I didn't know she was from Erie. I just knew she was from Pennsylvania.
No, pretty sure she lives in Erie.
Stacy is our IC Erie correspondent.
Yeah,
there we go.
I think she has season tickets to the Erie Otters, if I'm not mistaken. But Stacy, correct us one way or the other.
Stacy is a Tough Duck winner recently too.
There you go. Okay, Stacy's got her Tough Duck too.
I was just gonna say,
I've got the comment coming, Drew. Just give me a few.
Take
seconds.
your time.
My sausage fingers aren't moving quick enough right now.
Dave M's got a Manuk Moose minute still to go before we can wrap up this marathon of shows.
Well, yeah, no. All I was gonna say is, so for all the winners, including Ron, don't worry. Your gear. Just so you know, people are asking me. They're worried. They're thinking their packages have been stolen. But I will email you or message you through Instagram or on Twitter just to let you know that your packages are on the way. So fear not if you haven't received your Illegal Curve merch yet, or your
Dave,
merch
you're the
from
total
Illegal
package.
Curve. Thanks, Ezzy.
That was good. Dave, let me cue it up for you, and then you can tell us
Drew,
what happened with the...
Put on your antlers. It's time for the Manuk Moose Minute on the Illegal Curve Hockey Show.
This show was as long as the Saturday morning show was.
I know, but if you think I was going to go and do a Manuk Moose Minute without having my intro music play, I mean, come on. Is it amateur hour at the Apollo?
I'm just glad I don't have the Dave Dub diatribe music queued up yet.
Oh, well, let me tell you. Do you want me to do the
No.
I can do that if you want. No, you're sure?
I'm fine. You can do it tomorrow.
Okay. Well, I'm going to be honest because that's what I am, Drew. I'm honest with the audience, and I'm going to tell them that the truth
Honest
was
Dave.
I did pay attention to the Moose game, but I wasn't able to, of course, follow it as closely as I would have liked. So I will have to go back and review the game more thoroughly after, because of course I was paying attention so I could spend some time talking to you folks about to you people about the post-game show and what happened on tonight's Jets and Panthers game. So I did watch a little bit of the Moose game. I did have some highlights up on AHL TV. I will say that Alex Limoges tied the game twice for the Manitoba Moose, the leading scorer. I can tell you that Mick Moose was in Montreal at the birthday of Yuppie because the two teams are out of town. But the Moose gave up.
Hold on. I'm with Drew here. Did you just say Mickey Moose was in Montreal for Yuppie's birthday?
Boys, it always disappoints me.
Did mascots go to other mascots?
Someone didn't pay attention to my little tweet earlier, or what I posted.
Did they charter a plane for the mascot to fly to another mascot? I need to know about the financial ramifications of this.
Well, I mean, first of all, they don't concern you.
Drew, does the mascot is the mascot dressed as the mascot on the plane, or do they just dress as a regular person?
I'm trying to figure out, are Youppi's parents paying for all these other mascots to come to the game?
I do have a
and
question.
Are Youppi's parents mascots too, or does he have human parents?
The other question would be if Mickey Mouse is on a plane from Winnipeg to Montreal, and he's wearing does he have to get the crowd pumped up on the plane? Like, is he running cheers? Is he running back and forth between seats? Is he hitting the glass the way he would at a game? These are all very good questions.
Dave,
it's almost like
sorry, I have to do another shot.
It's almost like it's time to do an expose to find out what happened with that. But I mean, obviously, you guys missed the start of the game. That's why I saw it, and that's why I posted it, because I thought it was rather humorous that Mickey Mouse went to Montreal for the birthday of Youppi, as well as about 5 other mascots. So, just so you know, Mickey Mouse travels.
I find this all to be completely wild. And
anyways, let's move on.
I'm actually glad that this occurred, because it's the only thing that makes less sense than this show is the fact that there was a mascot birthday party.
Yeah, that was real.
The Moose gave up a goal on the first shot of the game to Iowa, 28 seconds into it, so it wasn't a good start. They managed to counter strike every time they gave up a goal, for the first couple of opportunities, I should say. Alex Limoges, he had his 15th. He's the leading scorer of the Moose. Really nice play. It's funny, Ville Heinola doesn't get a credit for it, but it's one of those things that that folks like about Ville Heinola. It makes a great stretch pass. He gets it up to to Jeff Malott, who touch passes it over to Jansen Harkins. Harkins finds Limoges, and Limoges makes it a 1-1 game. And then right after the Moose had given up the 2-1 goal, Limoges again scores. Beautiful play by Jansen Harkins. He actually doesn't get an assist on this play, but he goes into the zone hard, gets creates some chaos, gets back to Gonke, then who hits it off Jeff Malott, who's right in front of the net, and then Alex Limoges finishes it off, his 16th goal of the year. But at that point, the Wild took a 4-2 lead into the second, and then took a 5-2 lead when they finished it off with an empty netter, I believe. And so it was a 5-2 final for the Iowa Wild. First regulation loss for the Moose on this 7-game road trip. And they'll have a rematch on Sunday, I believe tomorrow afternoon.
There you go. Dave M with the Manuka Moose Minute. Concise, educational. And now please go do more research on the mascot.
Oh, I'm going to do an expose for illegalcurve.com, guys.
I think that's the hard-hitting
CMAC has the name of it already, so I don't even have to think about it.
It's funny too, Drew, like at mascot birthday parties, like it's really tough for them to eat the cake and everything. So it ends up just, there's like cake all over because it's tough for them to get it in their mouths.
Thanks, Ez.
This show is really gone to the mascots.
I'm now just picturing Ezzy wearing a mascot head and trying to eat cake, and it's all downhill from that point in time.
Drew, I don't need to put a mascot costume on. I'm already a mascot.
Somebody said you look like you were dressed for to go to Festival just like 3 weeks late based on your fireball.
I got my sent to Fleche. I'm ready to go. Festival's over, but man, I would go all year long.
You're willing to go to the park there and just drink in the field. That's very reasonable of you.
Yeah, I'm down to go to Fort Gibraltar anytime.
By the way, credit to Alan, Drew, we talked about our reputation, how it needs everything.
He sent a picture. I saw it already. He's as reckless as you are with that damn taking screenshots.
Why did Alan have to bring that back? I wanted to forget that. Was
that the Drew Mandel experience?
The cringiest of cringy moments.
No, why did I wear that?
You were in New Orleans.
Well, no, I wasn't broadcasting from New Orleans.
No, but you just got back from New Orleans, and I guess you brought that mask back.
I guess maybe,
or maybe that's something you and Laura wear. I'm not sure, what's going on there, but you brought it out, Drew.
Forget it. We're done. That's
by the way, Matthew Tkachuk,
we got a Tough Duck winner here.
Matthew Tkachuk. Did you read the quote from Matthew Tkachuk? He certainly liked what they did in the third period. Basically said, if it wasn't for Connor Hellebuck. The second half of the game, they did not have an answer for us, other than their goalie kept them in it. By the way, I'm fairly certain he doesn't know who the Jets goalie is. And honestly, he was the one that. And honestly, he was the one that got them to overtime too. We were able to push it and get those few, and we could have had a few more. Their goalie played really good, Matthew Tkachuk.
Their goalie.
Never mind.
How disrespectful is it to call him their goalie?
Well,
Just
no,
knows who their goalie is. Dude.
I'm telling you right now. I remember I've talked to so many players, and I'm 99% convinced that they don't know who the goalie is.
Speaking of goalies, did you see which former Winnipeg Jets goalie was at the game in Florida?
Andre Pavlik.
Andre Pavlik. Exactly
So the only reason I knew is because someone said there was a Pavlik signing. Sorry.
Andre Pavlik was apparently chatting with
The
some of
Jets
the boys.
signed Pavlik.
Yeah, he's back, baby. They need an emergency goalie. But apparently he was at the game in Florida tonight, and as a result, he was chatting with some of his former teammates after the game as well.
He was an assistant coach with the Czech junior team. You guys remember that?
I do remember that. Yes.
Yeah, he was cool. in Newfoundland or where the
Nova
World
Scotia.
Juniors were.
Halifax.
Halifax.
He was in Halifax, Newfoundland.
Yeah, they're exactly. They are different places and spelled and pronounced differently, Dave.
I know. I landed in one of the two.
I would assume Halifax.
Nope.
You've been to Newfoundland?
Very briefly on my way back from England.
England.
What year was it that you had to take us that the plane had to touch down for refueling? Exactly.
No, it wasn't. It was a chaotic route. Let's put it that way.
Okay, you took the cheap flight. You took the milk run, did you?
No, that was first class all the way, Drew. Come on.
No, Drew, that was 2017 when I went from Minneapolis, Chicago to Minneapolis to Duluth. No, sorry.
You were just trying to do it. Chicago, Duluth.
Overnighted in Duluth in the airport.
I slept on the floor of the Duluth airport after I went to a random bar at 11 o'clock at night. That was an $1,800 flight, by the way, because Dave M and I were supposed to drive.
Yeah.
Then
you were also the only person in the airport.
Yeah.
The only person. No, there was the janitor as well.
The janitor and you in the airport.
It was basically The Shining, is what. That's basically what that was. If you've seen the movie The Shining, it was Jack Nicholson and the janitor.
Wow, Drew, we're gonna be in the next.
Sorry, he was the janitor, the bartender. I don't know, whatever.
Here's Ezzy.
Shining's a great movie.
I get to see Ezzy and the janitor running around the airport like
no beer and no TV make Ezzy something. To quote The Simpsons a little bit there.
Okay, Tough Duck. We're giving it to Dom Zappia here.
Perfect.
I sent it in the private chat.
It was up there earlier. It's fine.
So hopefully Dom's watching here. If not, I'll let him know next game. He might have turned it off after we started talking about the mascot orgy.
Yeah.
But Florida leads the league in 40 or more shots in a game. 26 times they shoot from everywhere. Shots were misleading tonight. Dom, send me an email, Ezra@illegalcurve.com, and we'll send you a Tough Duck too.
Look, I know why the three of us are here, but why are 158 of you still here? That's
because
what I really want to know.
It's live access to our dementia, Drew. That's why.
I love you all. I truly, truly do love you all for listening to this.
This is a safe space, Drew. It's safe. Everybody's safe here.
It is a safe space. You folks are great. You were great this morning. You're great tonight. You'll be great again tomorrow night when we talk about the Jets and the Tampa Bay Lightning. Also great are all the sponsors of Illegal Curve who make the post-game show, the Saturday show, and the website a possibility. Our friends at
Spencer says this makes him feel more normal.
Our friends at Rumors Restaurant and Comedy Club, Linden Market Dental Center, Zappia Group Realty, Betway, Tough Duck, Boston Pizza, Seagram's, Rollies Transfer, Grid Park, and The Keg support these fine businesses because of their continued support of Illegal Curve Hockey. We're doing it all again tomorrow night, 8:45 after the Jets and the Lightning. Stick to illegalcurve.com for all your latest Winnipeg Jets news. In case you missed any of this show or this morning's show, the podcasts are available. Subscribe to the YouTube channel, smash the like button, leave us feedback here, there, everywhere. Tell your friends the best place to be after each and every Winnipeg Jets game. And again, on Saturday mornings is the Illegal Curve YouTube channel. For Dave Manouk, for Ezra Ginsburg, I'm your host, Drew Mandel. Thanks for joining us. This has been the Illegal Curve post-game show.
Thanks for listening to this broadcast from Illegal Curve Hockey. For more great Illegal Curve content, subscribe to the Illegal Curve YouTube channel, follow @Illegal Curve on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and visit your online home for hockey in Winnipeg, illegalcurve.com.